Hi, I'm Al Goff.
And I'm Miles Miller.
Hi, this is John Schneider.
Hi, it's John Glover.
This is Justin Hartley.
This is Steve DeKnight.
This is Aaron Ashmore.
This is Cassidy Freeman, and you are listening to Starkville.
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 Starkville. Starkville House of L. Starkville House of L.
Starkville House of L.
The podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Starkville's House of L. This is our episode 200 for the Smallville episode, Rosetta. I'm Derek.
I'm Tucker.
I'm Houston.
And I'm Graham.
And I am old. Good Lord. Look at this. Look at this. This is weird. Okay, so throwback 19 years, this is the original Shoe Crew. These are the ones that made it happen in the beginning, in the dark times.
I promise, these are the same dudes. You may not believe it.
You may not recognize us.
Very different. Very much older. Insurance is not covering things like it once was.
No. None of the original body parts.
No. We've upgraded and we've downgraded. This is so cool to get to celebrate 200 episodes. 19 years of doing this, which is ridiculous in and of itself. With the three of you, the four of us together for the first time in how long?
Oh, man. No way.
15, 16 years probably since we've all done this together.
It's gotta be.
Definitely 15 or 16, because that's when I moved away.
Yeah, so something like that. And I don't know that we've all done one together since. And why we haven't, that's on me. We should have. But regardless, like I said, episode 200, we hit 19 years this weekend at the time of this recording. And our 200th episode being one of the most important legacy episodes of Smallville, Rosetta, the Christopher Reeve episode. Let's talk so many things. I want to talk about memories and just getting to be here with you all right now, but I also want to talk about this episode. This is the 17th episode of Season 2, the 38th episode overall, but it's got that feel to it that you're like, it could be the 50th or the 100th, some kind of milestone episode. But I think that once they got Reeve and they were, chugging along on this storyline, they were like, we gotta move fast and make this happen. Alan Miles actually wrote the episode and directed by James Marshall. It aired February 25th, 2003. Those of you not doing the math at home, that is over 21 years ago.
We were all still in high. You had just graduated then. We were all still kind of
about to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we were all
February,
in high school
winter
when this came out.
Do you guys remember? I remember this one airing. Vividly that night. I was really stoked.
I remember your reaction to this episode. At that time I wasn't as into Smallville. I picked that up later when we all kind of got together in college. But I remember how psyched you guys were about this.
It's funny you say that because I had a weird... I'm watching ahead of what I'm recording right now, and what one... May have been Witness. So, 3 episodes from now, I think it was Witness. Excuse me while I read... No, wasn't Witness. I don't know. Very, very soon to Rosetta. I have a vivid memory of watching an episode of Season 2 right before the end on your... Tucker and me and you on your couch upstairs in your house.
I remember that.
Because Don't Fear the Reaper was playing, and it was a cover by Gus, and you were like, is that Gus? Like, you were in the other room, it was like, is that Gus? But, you knew the cover of Don't Fear the Reaper.
This is before Shazam.
Well, you were editing or doing something, and Tucker and I were just locked in. We were there, right. But you were not paying attention to Smallville, and then you came in. But it's a scene between Lex and his fiance right here at the end, and the fact that I can't come up with it is really annoying me at the moment. But so it's funny that you said that about Rosetta, because definitely around that time period, I guess we were talking about it a lot. That was when I was really getting into its stride in Season 2, and I was probably nonstop not shutting up about it.
Well, and it wouldn't have been like the last episode of Shoe that I was on. We talked about. Now I'm blanking. Help me now. Strokes kicking in. Whatever it was.
Oh,
Insurgents.
Oh, like a couple days ago. I got you. Yeah. Insurgents.
No, a scant 16 years ago.
Yeah, I was like, Tucker, I'm not going to remember that.
No, Insurgents was the one that got me into the show because we all chose Scrubs over Smallville because they were playing at the same time when they originally aired.
Graham went Scrubs.
And so here I am getting into a show, and then all of a sudden Christopher Reeve's going to be on the episode. Yeah, I'm in. I'll keep going.
Yeah,
that was hugely important.
Houston, do you remember?
Yeah, this probably like season 2. I don't think I was like an early adopter of Smallville. It took like other friends of mine and stuff definitely being like, you should check this out, but yeah, I remember watching, and like I remember the hype around Christopher Reeve being on the episode. Like, it was a huge deal.
Yeah, so I this is another one of those, and rewatching it. Graham rewatched it on the plane today, coming to town today. I don't know. Did you guys get a chance to rewatch, or is it?
I happened to watch it.
I just watched.
Okay, you happened to watch it not too long ago, Tucker?
Like a week ago.
Oh, okay, all right.
They put it on Disney, or it was with the
it's the Hulu bundle, and it's so weird to me to see it on Disney Plus. Mm-hmm. I didn't think about it being on there, and Wesley was scrolling through something that I was like, whoa, back up.
Is that Tom Welling?
Is that season 2 cover art I see? Roll back up there for me. That episode I was referring to on Graham's couch was Precipice, which is 2 episodes after Rosetta. So we were definitely all watching it together around this
by
time
then,
period.
yeah.
2 weeks later.
And I remember this being the moment where I kept hearing you guys talk about the show more and recruit more and more people to watch the show. It was like this episode felt like that turning point. You were always evangelizing Smallville, I feel like this was like, seriously, this Smallville show we're watching, you need to be watching it. Like that's the vibe had kind of changed to that.
I mean, at the time, it was just wild because you had we were a decade removed from Chris's accident at this point. Was that 92, 93?
No, 95.
95?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was pretty close.
It was close
to a decade.
Yep, May of 95. Okay, you're right. So yeah, it was. Sorry, I didn't doubt you. I couldn't remember.
I just like hearing it. That's okay.
You are so right, Tucker Colburn. I can remember growing up with Superman 4. For some reason, that was the one I watched the most as a kid.
It's probably on TBS the most.
It was running on TBS a lot back the late 80s, early 90s. But it was also the most cartoony out of all of them. So
I mean, I was going to say, like, of all the ones to be the one you catch the most, that's a shame.
Well, I still love it. I mean, I love all 4 of them, but, there's a lot of good stuff in there, and there's a lot of stuff. I mean, there's like 50 minutes of cut footage because they couldn't afford to put it into the movie.
Oh, sure.
I mean, there's more than an hour. There's like I've got Warner Archive released a 2-disc score for it during lockdown, and it has all the unused music on it.
Oh, that's incredible!
And when the 4K came out, when the 4K releases came out, they put a lot of the deleted scenes on that special edition release, but not all of it. But I mean, it's bad. Like, it's the same shot of Chris flying over and over again. It's the same 2D flat. It's like Jaws coming in and Jaws 3D breaking through the glass. It's all exactly. What Houston just did. So rewind it, you'll see it. But as a kid, I think it was the most likened to a cartoon version of like a live action Superman cartoon. But I think I want to say we had it in 2 on VHS, like clamshell VHS, but I don't know. Whatever reason, I always went to 4. I say all that to say we hadn't had anything Reeve since then. We were supposed to have Superman 5. There was a script made for it. The Salkinds were working on it. And, obviously, Chris's horrible accident, that never ended up coming to fruition. So when you hear, you get left off with something like Superman 4, which is not a fitting ending to his legacy, even though he came up with the story, but it wasn't his version of the story that ended up getting told because of how horribly it got stripped by Canon, the company that made it. And the Salkinds were just out for money at that point. I mean, they were always out for money, but it was not the vision of a Superman the movie or Superman 2. But when you get left with, you get 4 films with Chris. I say it like I know him, Christopher Reeve. I shouldn't call him by his first name. That's not polite.
CR, I call him.
You know, CR. Chrissy. When you get left with that as your legacy, you're wanting more. So fast forward, 8 years later, and this show that we're loving now, that's really by the end of it an homage to those films. I mean, when you're using the Williams theme, you're using stuff the Donner Krypton, the Donner Fortress. It obviously putting its own spin on it, but it's kind of following those breadcrumbs, that groundwork that was laid out. So when he gets folded into this legacy, not just once, but ultimately twice, we get him, and we're supposed to have him more before his untimely death in 2004. It was a huge deal. It was a huge night. I forget, and I've watched this one probably the most since the series went off, but I, for one reason or another, but I always forget how long it takes him to show up in the episode, and it's another one where, my God, we've got to sit through another Lana frickin' storyline. Like, why in all these really good episodes, Insurgents, this one, so many in season 2, get muddled with her family bullshit? Discuss.
You went through my computer.
Yeah, there was a definite girl fight there, and it's interesting you mentioned this family thing. This is the season where she's living with Chloe, but looking for a family. Right.
We're still in the midst of the Henry Small, the adopted father crap.
Mm-hmm. And then it's in this episode where she realizes, I do have a family. You're my family.
Why didn't
the friends we made along the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Graham,
we found that out in season 2. How many more seasons?
How long do we have to take to hit you on the head to get this? And then you were talking about Pete coming in all.
I just thought it was funny because he's super into the project, no one else is, and he has the normal family. Everyone else has got they're trying to avoid the project because their families are so complicated.
It's complicated. You've got Chloe's asylummed mother. I use that as a verb, but whatever. And then obviously Lana's pick a problem. Pancake parents or aunt who ran off to Metropolis because she was getting some, or now having to live with Chloe and Gabe. We hadn't seen this is another Gabe watch, not in this one.
Nope. Referenced only.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody. Well, their parent problems is just that. They don't seem to exist in any shape or fashion.
No, they have no.
Your house is empty.
I've always wanted one of these episodes to be like. Although I love. Do either of you watch Stranger Things?
Yeah.
So I've watched it. Wesley adores it, so I've watched it more or less with her. But there's a line in, I think, season 3 when what's the curly-headed one's name? Dustin.
Yes.
Dustin goes to the house of the brother and Mike and his sister and knocks on the door, and they're like, are they here? Asking the wife, and he's like, no, they're not here. When are they going to be back? I don't know. Don't you understand? Our children don't live here. That's one of the greatest, and that's what I always think of as this. There was no parental involvement. I mean, at most you had Clark with Jonathan and Martha, but everything went under the radar for the most part in these types of shows. I mean, if Buffy's mom knew what was really going on in the beginning of the series.
Right. I was also going to say, after this entire episode, I noticed Lionel not in it at all. whatsoever.
Yeah. I think 2 weeks.
Too much going on.
I think 2 weeks in a row. To be fair, John Glover, there's it's like an episode trilogy of like Insurgents. I think the one before Insurgents and Suspect, where he gets shot and Jonathan ends up getting framed for it, but it's really the sheriff that did it. Spoiler alert. Sorry if you're listening, and you're like, God, 21 years. Down the drain for nothing. He had like 3 really strong in a row episodes, and it's like, okay, you get a break now, John. You're acting your ass off around the rest of us. I'm
going on vacation.
Yeah, you brought Shakespeare to Superman. You get to go.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, every once in a while he would just be gone doing a play on Broadway or something. Everybody else is talking about how to what kind of brutal schedule there was. Like, you were only doing one show at a time. He was doing any number of them at a time. So
he would go off. They would rap on him for a season, and he would have like 4 days. Like, he would immediately head to New York and start rehearsals for Drowsy Chaperone or whatever he was doing. At that time, I saw him in Drowsy Chaperone, so that's why that one comes to mind. But he didn't stop. And as far as I know, Kristen wasn't doing Broadway or
just
Allison.
Degrassi.
Well, when was The Legend of Chun-Li? Way after.
Way after.
Is that after she left, or right
That's
in
what
the
I'm saying.
midst?
It's got it.
I want to say that was like 07 or 08, and that was around the time that was season 7 that she left at the end of. So that I think that she may have filmed it before she wrapped, but I also think it was like her first big like project after Smallville. Yeah, I forgot about that until that's one you just pulled out of nowhere, and
that's
completely
what I'm here for.
That's
I came back for that.
I came back, dropped that, and then I'm out. See you again in 19 years, punks.
See you in 20 years.
Yeah, so I don't even want to talk about a lot of stuff, even though we just did for 10 minutes, because it's like, there's so much more. It's the same thing with Insurgents. So there's only like 2 episodes, the 2 scenes devoted to her in Insurgents. This one, I felt like had at least 4, if not, I don't know, 3 or 4, but you've got such a milestone episode with that one. Can we just not, can we push this to next week? I don't know that would really, I mean, I get the whole familial storyline that they've weaved in here. The Insurgents one had nothing. That was not a B plot that had anything to do with the A plot whatsoever. They didn't need that in the least, in the midst of everything else going on in that episode. I was gonna read, I pulled up old Krypton site articles from when Craig at Krypton site got an advanced review of Rosetta, but I can't find a date on it. Again, this aired February 25th, 2003, and it was before, obviously, that. I want to say he usually was like 2 weeks out at that point. He's got other columns around here dated like February 11th, but I found the original official description for the episode that I think was late 2002. Big screen Superman Christopher Reeve guest stars. Determined to find out where he came from, Clark travels to New York to meet Dr. Swan, a brilliant scientist who holds a message for Clark from his home planet. Meanwhile, Lana decides to move out of Chloe's house after the 2 girls get into another argument about Clark. It does not say get into an argument about Clark. It says get into another argument about Clark.
Even the description writers.
Yeah, even they were like
getting tired of it.
When is one of them leaving the show? They're not giving them anything good to do. I remember lamenting at the time. Again, if I'm going to wax nicely on Superman 4, I have to do the same thing for Superman 3. I'm sorry, Houston. I love Annette's performance as Lana in Superman 3, so I loved that tie-in, but they don't obviously meet. They never got to be on screen together because they're not in Legacy either. She did get to later be with Margot Kidder come season 4, but yeah, doesn't have a scene with Chris in either episode that he's in. That's a shame. I'm sure I knew that, obviously, but I forgot it at some point. Trying to think. Graham loved the PSA at the end.
I had never seen that.
Had you not?
Yeah. So first of all, like after seeing it after having rewatched the episode in such a long time, I was already like, oh, cool. I'm glad I'm seeing a little bit of extra Christopher Reeve content. And the joke at the end was just so endearing. It felt like, they were going to, that was a blooper. They were not going to show that, but they held it just because, it was just such a great moment.
I usually, either Tim or we post that on Chris's birthday every year and link to the Christopher Reeve Paralysis Foundation, just because I think what better day to give, if you're going to give to them, that's a perfect day to do it. But so I feel like I watched that a lot, and I remember that airing after and just being giddy. It's like, look, he's having fun. Because the story always goes with this one. I could get one of the books and pull some Craig quotes, I'm sure. But they had Chris for 2 hours on set. Tom and Alan Miles and I think James Marshall, all the four of them flew to New York and used a crew out there. I can't remember, to film in New York to help with Chris's availability, and they had originally said we've got 2 hours, and then Chris would not leave the set. He refused. He was having such a good time. They ended up doing some behind the scenes stuff. They did that PSA. He would not leave. He was so enamored. He had been watching Smallville. Mm-hmm. I don't know faithfully, but he had been watching it because he talks about it at the time about having seen it and kind of passing the torch on to Tom, and you get you're getting out of a lot of the freak of the week episodes. That's how far did you get thrown back when I said that, Houston? Just that smack you in the face when I said that one.
No, I was actually, that was another thing I was, not to go off on a branch, but another thing I was thinking, one of the very first scene of this episode, the caves are giving off the screeching thing that's giving Clark this headache and hurting his ears, and Lana and Chloe are just like, what? Wow, you hear something? I don't hear anything. Weird. Oh, you're just going to run off?
Okay, bye.
Having 25 kids in your class turned into monsters, in the last year or so. And we're just like, it's probably nothing. Another one of Clark's weird headaches.
That's nothing, sir. Don't worry about that. I think I said in the last episode, it was like the graduating class just shrunk by the week. The fatalities.
A lot of empty chairs. And then
I don't know if it was Robin or Frank, we're talking about the in memoriam.
Yes.
Of how long they had to sit through an Oscars style in memoriam at graduation. Of all the ones.
Yeah, students, teachers,
principals.
The principals.
Parents.
Yeah. A lot of parents died. This is, of course, the first episode we hear the word Krypton and the word Kal-El. The term kryptonite, I want to say, comes in the next episode because there's some joke about it. Clark calls it kryptonite, and Jonathan's like, kryptonite? He's like, well, I guess that's what we call it now. We're not going to keep calling it meteor rock, right? I'm actually going to look on that right now.
Cue the Three Doors Down.
Yeah. What was the one playing in this one?
It was Coldplay. I think,
Coldplay, the scientist.
At the Talon.
Yeah.
Scientist.
Yes, the next episode, Visitor, is the first episode in the series which meteor rocks are referred to as kryptonite, so it did not take long to get there. Tucker, this is one we talked about a lot over the ages of the first real instance of flying.
Well, I mean,
that's not Metamorphosis or Insurgents.
Yeah, and quite honestly, so, all right. So, do you remember?
No.
Go ahead and answer that right now.
I'm gonna be straight with you.
I'm gonna answer for you.
Okay.
Did we ever figure out how often somebody is out in the middle of a desolate road and the only car that happens to be there is 25 miles an hour?
No one asks what Lex is doing out there. They're like, Clark, what were you doing out there? What the F was he doing out there?
Was out on Route 9,
Yeah.
Lex is going 90 in his Porsche, as he does. How many times do you almost hit this kid, Lex? It's like you're aiming for him at this point.
The Talon closes at 8:30, Lex.
I know this wasn't a time travel thing because he's not at the bridge and stuff, but my mind like went to the pilot basically of like, are we replaying the pilot? Is he gonna like veer off the road again? But it's like, it's a dream he's having or that he was having before this, and so he just wakes up in the road. So obviously, but yeah, I thought maybe it had something like that we were being taken on a ride time travel wise.
I remember the wire work being a little shoddy in the cave when he comes flying in at the beginning, and it still looks a little, especially in HD. It's
when you put in there no flights, no tights.
Yeah.
How good could he possibly be at it?
This is true.
The one two
time.
times every season.
Yeah. I wonder what Metamorphosis was, where he started from in this relation. If he was on something and dropped, or I guess that's how they did it. I don't remember when he fell on the bed. There was something else I was going to mention about this one. Of course, Swan being referred to by Chloe as the Man of Tomorrow. Superman nickname. Everybody drink when something gets referenced from the show.
Oh.
Yes.
So when Swan is showing him this map of the stars, and he's like, "Oh, is that my planet?" And then Swan says, "No, that's where your planet was."
No, that's where it was.
It could have been any number of things: disease, famine, war. Yes. How would disease and famine make the planet vanish? There would be a planet.
It's that we don't want to assume. Look, that's casting things on,
I mean,
The exploding disease.
Yeah. Anything else to discuss? I mean, it's a great episode, but also it's like, I mean, everybody knows this one. It's such, and I hate to gloss over it because it's such an important part of the series, but it's also like, man, we talked about it over the years. It's such a good episode.
Yeah.
And there's so many. I mean, the music,
it really is peak. Yeah,
yeah.
You've got like the opening alone. Like you've got that Mark Snow music. It is like an episode of the X-Files. Just getting queued up.
Yeah,
like right at the very beginning. You've got the octagonal disc. You've got the caves. You've got finally figuring it like. How many episodes were you just waiting for the octagonal disc to end up where it was supposed to go?
Oh yeah, after waiting for it to show back up because it disappeared during the tornado, and it's like, where is that thing?
Like that was a whole thing. Like this was like the pinnacle of so many plot lines.
Yeah.
And kicking off other ones.
Yeah, exactly. And I was trying to remember, was this the last time we see the heart of the ship? Because once we went to the Kryptonian alphabet and symbols, they got rid of that one because it didn't have any of that on there.
Yeah, I guess he just puts it in and that's it. It's in there now.
So yeah, it stays in there until the ship is destroyed at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is probably one of the last instances we ever see of it. A good little MacGuffin that we lost, but there's many more as the series goes on.
What was the original? What was the original plan for Dr. What's his face?
Dr.
Walton?
Walton?
Or Walden? Yeah.
As far as what?
Because he puts the key in the cave, and it gives him some sort of triangle thing on his hand.
He gets downloaded with it. We were at the time we were like Eradicator, like something along those lines. Oh boy, how foolish we were to know what they could and couldn't use back then.
And Lex even says a little throwaway like, "Oh, I'll get with you later."
Yeah.
But there's but that was part of the fun. If we're kind of thinking back, was we knew so much where things could go.
We had so much mythos that we were pulling from comic lore we were more wrong, I think, than right in real time
so that when we were right, it's kind of like the gamblers thing where you lose a whole bunch, but you just remember the wins.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
We did that so much with another podcast of ours.
Man, that could have gone anywhere. Hey, by the way, aren't they bringing that back?
Evidently.
Derek
We're
and I
gonna
have already recorded an episode.
Listen, third time's the charm, baby. We're going to get it right this
You're
time.
welcome to join us.
Yes, please, Tucker. Come talk. I just rewatched. We're talking about Heroes, folks. 10th Wonder, heroespodcast.com. I just rewatched season 1, which I have not touched in I don't know how long. In many ways, it seems even further removed for me than season 2 of Smallville, which was 21 years ago. Because I just didn't watch it. I mean, I watched it as it aired. We watched for recordings. I feel like maybe I rewatched the series before Reborn, but I kind of feel like it was one of those shows like it was on while I was doing laundry or not paying attention to it whatsoever. So I've like glued into it this week, watching the past couple weeks, watching season 1 again. The things I don't remember astound me, and my Smallville has gotten rusty. I mean, admittedly, like there's things I'm like, where was this going? Like I have no memory of this storyline, and most of them were Lana's, and they went nowhere. But where were we on this journey? But I can go ahead.
I completely forgot about Ma Kent getting pregnant. With a child. I was like, she's what now?
She's what? When did that happen? Just an episode or two before this one, we find out that, and sadly it does not last long. But rewatching Heroes, I'm like, this is. And then there's also like they could have cut two or three of these characters out completely and done this a whole lot faster. Watching
back when they had like 20 episodes in.
That's what I was going to say. It's like these seasons are so long.
23 episode network season, and now you're like barely the attention span to get through a 10 episode season on Netflix or Paramount.
It's interesting how TV has changed. Like now you get less content, but is it better content? Are you cutting out those storylines you didn't want to? That now revisiting all these years later, you're like, that was so unnecessary, but they kind of had to do it.
I mean, there's so many episodes of Smallville that aren't filler because our slogan later on the show was filler does not mean noir, because that episode was a filler episode. But there's so many ones that if you completely left it out, the ongoing storyline would probably be unfazed. You could probably skip a Lana episode and figure out what's going on the next one pretty easily without the episode prior. But I mean, when you had that much time and that much budget, especially early days of Smallville when they were hitting, high marks in that first 5 or 6 before everything started going downward money-wise, I mean, you've got a full writer's room. I mean, it's fully staffed, and you're churning out so many of these episodes, and that's how I was feeling about Heroes. Like that was a lot. I mean, and a lot of exposition on that show, and that's the good season. That's the problem. I'm like, okay, well, that it's all downhill for me.
That's the one everyone agrees is good.
That writer's strike happened, and it's just we get about 4 episodes into season 2, and we were like, "Oh no, what is going on?"
We thought for sure they'd find a way to make it work.
On, guys.
And then so season 3, it was like we fixed it, and we were for like 3 episodes, we were like they fixed it, and then they didn't fix it, and then it came back again for that horrible miniseries that just went nowhere and was.
We figured it out. We're going to do more time travel.
Yeah.
That's how we fix the problem of time travel.
You remember when season 2 and that screwed everything up, and then we were like, we're not doing that anymore. Well, here, we're doing it again. But you know what? I'm a sucker for it. You did announce a whole new season, a limited series, or whatever you're going to do. I'll be there.
Within a week, we had the website relaunched and recorded an episode.
I mean, that show was, like this. I mean, that was the next thing we did after Smallville, after we started, I guess we'll segue here, after we started Starkville House of L, when we started doing test runs of it in 2005, and what kind of the concept we went, and podcast was such in its infancy that it wasn't even really just barely was being called podcast, if that. I mean, I remember it was Apple Radio.
iTunes hadn't really incorporated podcasts until 2000. It was really the summer of 2006 was when it started, and that is when we started these podcasts.
That's when we the official feed started, and we wrapped up with season 5. And
back then we had to mail them to our fans like that.
and
we made that transition.
They didn't send them back. It was a whole thing. But I remember, getting through, I don't know, maybe the first batch of 5 that we were finally like, okay, this is the vision we want. This is kind of what we were going for, and doing a podcast versus doing video or doing something else or a website. Because it was like, I remember the conversation with Tucker was like, why would we do a website where we would just be doing what Craig does, and he's clearly got everything. So it would just be our take on that, or us linking Krypton site for everything. So that was useless. It was trying to do something new that a lot of people weren't doing at the time. And thank God Conan O'Brien came along and showed everybody the error of their ways. Because
he invented podcasting.
He invented podcasting. He and Sarah Serial. I can't remember her name.
Sarah Koenig?
Sarah Koenig, yeah.
Sarah Koenig,
yeah. Serial is really when everyone learned what the word podcast was.
The alpha and the omega of podcasting.
Like nearly what, 7 years after we started doing this?
Yeah.
A long time.
It was a long time, and it was like, what's a podcast? It's like, well, I'll tell you. And I'll loop that back around to say, talking about dragging out episodes. We were talking the other day on one of the last few shoe episodes as we were marching to 200 about, if you watched, like, Houston, did you watch The Flash? The CW Flash?
Oh, I've seen a few of them.
Okay. I gave up on it around season 3-ish, and then I checked back in here and there. But, it was 12, 13 episode season, something like that. Tucker, you watched them, didn't you?
Every single one.
Yeah, there you go. So it was, but the thing is, so a Lana Chloe fight or a Lana Clark fight, I guess, would last like 3 to 4 episodes on Smallville before, they got back into another groove or something else happened. An arc would go over 3 or 4 episodes from one single scene that happened would wildfire into something else. On The Flash, it was normally wrapped up in 42 minutes.
They're all super.
Yeah, whatever fight they had was fixed by the end of the episode.
They all hug and get the...
Yeah, because we don't have time to carry this into another one, folks. See, we got something else
real problems
next week for you, so we don't have time for that kind of thing. And that's just the way TV has changed. And you said that about content. We're enamored with so much now, but like, I don't remember hearing anything about Heroes. We were 4 or 5 episodes into Shoe at that point. I think we went to see Clerks 2 in the theater in Starkville. I think Tucker and Graham and I. And
there was a
trailer for there was a TV spot for Heroes.
Oh yeah, I remember that now.
And that was the first time we had seen anything.
We were all kind of sitting there.
It's just
and
Claire.
We all looked at each other.
Yeah, we were like, well, we know what we're doing next. It was just Claire jumping off. It was the footage of her falling off the rig.
Yes.
And saying that this is attempt number whatever, popping her shoulder back in there, wet my hair, but and popping her shoulder back in. This is attempt number whatever it was. You remember?
I remember that now.
Yeah. And then it just
there's a lot of that time that I don't remember.
It just said Heroes, and it wasn't even it didn't have the. It wasn't the opening graphic of the title card. It was I think it was the original 10th Wonder sticker with them lined up. That image of like all their faces.
I think it was. It was like a promo image,
and it
of
just
all
said
the
Heroes,
characters.
and we were like, "The hell was that?" That's another show that was born. But that was the summer 06. Leading up to that, that was the summer of Superman Returns.
Yes.
Heroes that fall, but seeing that in theaters and seeing that Heroes trailer. Houston, I think that's around the time you came in, Superman Returns. I think Tucker and I were solo for like 5 or 6, and then you came around.
Yeah, I think so.
That sounds right.
I don't think there were too many. Yeah, and like I remember talking about. I remember like either seeing Superman Returns with you guys, or
think we all went opening night. Sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
I had,
remember, back up a little bit, do you remember going to commencement? Is it commencement that was ending? That would have been 04, 05. Yeah, so we were in Starkville. So the season 4 finale, him throwing the crystal, Fortress. Well, not Fortress. We don't see that till 5:01. But the crystal comes at the screen, and that was the cliffhanger. That was also the night. It was a 90-minute episode because it had a Batman Begins preview.
Yeah, we
8 or
watched that
9
at your
minutes.
place.
Correct.
Yeah.
Then we went to the midnight showing Revenge of the Sith. That was also the opening night of Revenge of the Sith.
I do remember that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
And we're all in line. It's us and Evan and Raimi.
Probably
I think
Raimi.
Raimi was there. And was Will with us?
I think so. I think a whole bunch of improv people were there. Too.
I think it was a lot of running with Scissors group, and then it was which kind of Venn diagrammed our Smallville group, our home group. It was funny, not to segue there, but it was funny. Tim, that runs our social media, showed me a tweet the other day and was like, "Who is this?" They act like they've been involved, and it was TJ. Craig tweeted the shoe account something.
No way.
But we're in line for Revenge of the Sith, having just seen commencement. We're jazzed. Man, he threw that crystal at the snow. We knew what was coming, right? I mean, we were. I remember, Tucker, you and I were just stoked as hell.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a guy. So we get into the theater, and the trailers hadn't even started yet, and there's a guy behind us. African American gentleman. And he is cursing Smallville left and right. And I won't use some of the words that he used. But he said, I don't know if does anybody remember this?
I do, because you and me were looking at each other.
We were like,
kind of thumb back, looking like this, talking.
It was one of the, like, if it was 2024, I would have immediately hit record, like, on my phone. It's like, sir, you're going to be on the podcast.
Surreptitious.
He goes, I waited 4 years to see that motherfucker fly, and they just go in it like that.
I got to wait all summer.
Just to see.
I'm remembering now, yeah.
And we were dying. We were absolutely dying. It was so funny. To the point that I can vividly remember sitting in Revenge of the Sith and like nothing remotely funny would be happening on the screen.
I'm not going to top that.
What are you guys' memories of the evolution of this in the beginning? How it came to be? Because when I think back on it, Tucker, like I can kind of remember conversations, especially the later ones that turned into what it was going to become. But
I think the stuff I remember more than anything was you and I trying to figure out from a technical standpoint how in the world we were going to do this. Because when we started, I do recall. Your memory of this is going to be better than mine, but I do remember...
It's debatable.
I remember the video aspect of it because neither of us had any kind of recording equipment other than a microphone on a camera. And then we would just sort of piecemeal get little pieces here and there. And then it got to be so difficult for us to monitor levels and do all these things that Graham had to come in and do all this stuff. And then he just...
And boy, did he hate that.
They forced me to do this.
At gunpoint.
But it made it better.
Absolutely. He knew what he was doing. As far as like running live sound, I could do that. But as far as trying to be in the moment of what we were discussing and everything else.
Yeah, and managing all the other technical stuff.
Were we using that old Blackboard mixer? That giant thing in the case?
We were definitely using non-digital.
Oh yeah, it was all analog.
Well, I mean, like
that didn't come till later.
I definitely recall like before we moved like to like literally to Graham's apartment and like the setup over there, like at your place, like it was.
Oh, it was piecemeal.
Some
was in
shit
my
where
bedroom
a
for a
shoebox
while.
or what? Like it was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was early days.
Yeah, and then you look at I think one of the first videos we ever did was that black and white one you shoot like a round table of the four of us and the picture of Red Tornado here, that whole video. And I think that's one of the first times we were like all in like, oh my god, this is a nice setup. Like we got these mixed. This is one of the original ones.
This is one of the original mics. Like I got in
Which
here.
is crazy.
Derek is only set up for one person to be on a podcast, so we're digging through all kinds of stuff for old equipment so that I can join tonight. And he pulled this. This is what they call an MXL 990. This we recorded on these mics for 5 years. Yeah.
But we had
You know
four
what's nuts?
set up, and like we had our individual headphones, and I think Graham had like masking tape or painter's tape over the top our names, and it was like, oh,
I tried to make it as nice as possible so that the content could
flow.
So we had we were using a lot of before. I remember until Graham got involved, we were just using my pirated, alternately sourced version of Cool Edit Pro before.
Oh
Adobe
God! I forgot about Cool Edit Pro.
Cool Edit Pro
Holy
still exists
hell.
today, actually,
Yeah.
in the form of Adobe Audition.
That's right.
I can remember listening to episodes of Starkville House of L on Winamp.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
It really kicks the llama's ass. I don't know if you know that.
And that you had said something back in the Insurgents episode that we did about the Red Tornado. I forgot you were referring to the fact that podcasts were in AAC.
AAC.
Yep.
We talked
And so you
about
could put
this.
pictures in.
You can put pictures. We did talk about this briefly on the 10th Wonder, but like we did so much more work than the average show to try to. We like put in screenshots as we were talking, and it's like people I think appreciated that.
Yeah.
At the time,
Yeah.
because
Nobody else was doing that.
if you think about it, people appreciated that because no other podcast was. I mean, there were podcasts using that, but people were just getting the video iPods, and it had actual color screens on it. And if you listened to a podcast that had AAC and you had a video iPod, which this is what these things sold in the millions. People would look down and we'd be talking about something, and there would be a picture of what we're talking about, and that impressed people. I think at the time,
I give you the utmost credit, not only for the devotion you did, especially on 10th Wonder, you would get, how are you getting, maybe we shouldn't say this on the air, how are you getting screen grabs?
we would normally. One of us had a TiVo and it was recording it, and we were able to convert the
That's
files.
right.
That was
Right.
That was what
Okay.
we do. We did a lot of behind the scenes
But
stuff.
you would meticulously go in and drop screen caps throughout. For an entire 42 to 45 minute episode. And I feel like I did that like 6 times on shoot, and I was like, hell no.
No way.
I mean, by the end of our like first run at 10th Wonder, I was just that I hated that I took on so much work doing that.
You
and
hit
regretted it
you
till
hit
the
a
end of
level
the show.
that was like,
but,
we can't back down on that.
but yeah, it's like we felt like we couldn't stop doing it because it definitely got us attention at the time. It was just a way to stand out. Funny enough, the MP3 since I'm the nerd here talking, the MP3 standard added chapters and images a few years back, and so now you can actually just download an MP3 and it has automated
Skip to a chapter.
You skip to a chapter,
Yeah.
and you can have album art for each chapter. So it's exactly like AAC.
Yeah.
It just kind of got rolled into MP3 now. So
Well, the problem with that, with AAC too, after you guys left and Steve came along, there was no tracking where the episode would go, so it was ridiculous to put a title card for any kind of chapter in an episode, because 4 minutes later we were already on something else Smallville related, but not at all what we started talking about.
I'm sorry, who?
So,
You got one guy to replace you.
that was a 200th episode payoff,
who is-
ladies and
who's that?
gentlemen. Who's Steve?
I heard you. Who was
It's
that?
Steve. Steve.
I
I don't know who that is. That is chef's kiss, sir. Good job. That was excellent. How long have you been holding on to that one? How long have you been sitting on that to pull out?
Playing along. there.
Meticulous. Wonderful. Beautifully executed. Yep, that's going on the Instagram. totally lost my train of thought, though.
Just sort of the technical stuff that we did
That's what
early
you're saying,
on.
sorry.
Yeah. Well, my thing is the reason why I think we got stood out. It was the quality aspect of thing. We had all worked in media. We had all done audio. We had all done live music, live filming and things like that. So I feel like that gave us sort of that edge of like, we know what sounds good. And a lot of early podcasts, I don't know if you remember, did not sound good.
No, at all.
Because everyone was dealing with the same issues. They needed to have the equipment. We kind of already got a head start on that because we already had some of that stuff.
One of the things that's been said about us over the years, I say that like it's something, but a lot of early emails we got and stuff later in the show would be like, it feels like I'm watching ESPN, like the kind of ads and stuff you guys would do while listening to about a show that I love watching. So it kind of had that feel to it.
If only we had expanded at the scale of ESPN.
We didn't think it was possible. Do you remember how many conversations we had about things to where we could take it bigger and stuff like that? And so many of them would end with one or multiple of us saying, well, who would do that? Who would watch that? Or who would whatever? We didn't know what was coming.
No.
We just were thinking like, well, no, this makes sense and da-da-da-da. No, well, no one would watch that or nobody would whatever. Meanwhile, there's like ASMR and people eating stuff.
Oh, the unboxing videos and the way it's changed in 20 years. We did, and I remember saying it like this to you, Tucker, specifically. I mean, one of those mini sessions when we probably were supposed to be doing something responsible, and we were talking about this instead. About we were going to do what we wanted to hear. Like if we were going to listen to somebody talk ad nauseam, for 45 minutes or longer about a show that we loved, what would we want to listen to? And that was kind of the direction we ran with it. But I don't remember sitting down going,
like, here's the show.
Here's the show. Like, and I hate that I can't. I've watched that Netflix documentary about We Are the World. Have you watched that yet?
No.
Okay, it's fantastic.
It's about how they recorded it.
Yeah, how they recorded it. But I never knew they filmed that entire night.
And so the documentary that came out is all that unreleased
It's
footage.
all the footage, and then several people that they've pulled in, Huey Lewis and others, to narrate over it or to talking head over it. But they filmed and I go back now and I'm always like, if I'm ever searching for something in the bowels of a old external hard drive, she related, I'm like, I wish we had filmed more. Like I wish there was more conversation. It's weird that we didn't audio record these conversations like on a phone or on a mini tape or something, because that's the kind of thing you and I used to do. Go ahead, Houston.
I think that sparked something of an error. Let me know if I'm completely pulling this out of my butt, but like some of those first recording sessions, I think that we were still even like, I think we walked out of like a couple of recordings and was like, okay, next time we need to have a format.
I think I said that every time.
Well, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, probably
really need
so.
to buckle down.
I think so often I would feel guilty. Like, I remember one specific episode. There's an episode where we went to Barnhills. Does anybody remember that?
What?
I have zero memory of this. I wasn't involved.
Okay, no, you were there. It's at your apartment. And so we're talking.
Really at Barn Hills?
Look, I think the episode was called Barn Hills. And we're
This must have been
recording.
a summer episode.
It was,
Yeah,
oh, God.
yeah, there was no show to talk
We're
about.
recording, and
Smallville episode Barnhill.
although it would have
I've
been like
completely
us,
memory hold this. I don't have any memory of this whatsoever.
We're all sitting
Keep
there
going, maybe
recording.
it'll jog
And
me.
I don't go back and listen to these. Probably they're terrible, but I know they're terrible.
Guess what I was doing on my flight earlier?
Yeah.
Listening to very early episodes of Shoe, and I have some thoughts.
I know. Remind me. I'm going to tell you something, Graham. See if you remember.
Okay, but we're sitting around talking, and I feel like we're trying to have a pretty decent, normal conversation. I get that sometimes we deviated into something else because that's just who we are. Mm-hmm. One of us would movie quote the other into something, and we'd laugh for 5 minutes and then, get back on track. bringing in Will Cooper was the worst decision ever made. And I say that with the utmost love to Will, but my God, the ADHD of that boy could never stay
Picture
on
of Red
track.
Tornado.
Picture of Red Tornado here. But my memory is we're talking,
He's a human.
and he's a human.
He's a human.
No. They're not going to use Red Tornado. I can just hear you. And I'm removed from the conversation completely watching YouTube Picker. We're trying to do a normal episode, as normal as we ever did, and Will just keeps going, I am hungry. Like, he's like, man, I'd love a buffet. And we eventually get on to Barn Hills. He's like, we're going to Barn Hills. And it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. On like a Friday afternoon in
For those
Starkville.
who may not have ever visited Starkville, Barn Hills Cafe
Was a horrible buffet restaurant.
But it looked like a barn.
Yeah.
It was shaped like a barn.
Like a red barn. And it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. But Will somehow got us off on that.
You could eat 3 pounds of macaroni and cheese if you wanted.
If you wanted to.
Sir, don't take the steam tray.
There are no rules.
And
you can do whatever you
And
want.
I'm pretty sure Will did. But I do remember Ramey went with us. Which changes any
always
kind of
trouble.
Which changes any kind of restaurant. Ramey's a running
It
joke.
becomes
on
an
the show.
adventure then.
Yeah.
Choose your own.
Can I've my memory of the earliest mention of Smallville podcast with you guys was we should just record the conversations we're already having about this show, and like maybe somebody might want to listen to it. And I remember just like hearing Derek, you and Tucker specifically saying, let's just record us talking about the show because you had so much insight into it. And I don't think the word podcast was ever used at the time. It was just, let's just record this.
I mean, it was like audio. We called it something like audio journals or
Like an audio show, or I know
it was, audio show rings true to me. Like, it was not something we were thinking about. However, the word podcast did sort of become more well known in the geeky or communities with like This Week in Tech was like the proto early podcast. There were a couple of other ones. But I remember hearing that word and being like, oh, this infrastructure is a thing. Like we can now maybe broadcast what you're saying in a different kind of way. Cause at the time before being able to download this stuff and listening to it on your iPod, it was only radio.
yeah.
Or streaming audio, like Real Player and stuff. So it was not something that you could go and be like, I'm interested in this topic. I want to find, people talking about this and just download it like it was a talk show. Before you had RSS and all the way that getting podcast worked at the time, that was not even an option. So when the first shoe was recorded, I don't even think we were thinking about it as a podcast. I remember
I think we were just talking about posting them on a website or something. Like not linking them or something.
I remember being like, oh, that sounds cool. We should totally do that. And then like 2 days later, you're like, we already recorded it. I remember it being
once we finally
done very quickly.
When we were done with the whole video thing, which we did several tests of that, and it just wasn't. It was clunky. It was not working. I told that Tucker was on for episode 198 a week or so ago, and I feel like I have this image in my head of one of the final test runs of each of us holding a handheld microphone, and like Smallville's running. We're like in metal folding chairs, and just dead on facing the camera. It would have been the worst thing ever, folks. And
it was like cable access.
And I've got that tape around here
like
somewhere.
Worse than Wayne's World.
Yeah. Oh, terrible. Yeah. But, we wanted that Wayne's World feel. I do kind of remember that.
I think that, I remember that.
That was an element of it. But I feel like we had the episode running, like, down in the lower
and you were going to be, like,
fourth.
Looking down and talking about stuff that was happening on screen.
Yeah, because we had it on the monitor, and I feel like we were running in real time with it and almost doing kind of like a commentary type thing. Yeah. But I do remember you saying this a second ago, it triggered this memory. I kind of feel like I remember going, what we do is we put these on a server somewhere or something, and we go on Krypton's site, and we like start threads
Like
and putting
post
them in
them or
there and
something?
post them in
Yeah.
there and kind
Oh,
of.
that does sound familiar.
I
now
feel
that
like
you
kind
say
of
it.
piggybacking off of Craig, which was
Yeah, we'll
not
use-
nice, but.
Use what's there.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of where the conversation started because we were in those damn things so much.
Right, you were thinking it'd be cool for this community to hear our thoughts about this in audio instead of having to literally
type out
transcribe everything.
an whole essay here.
So there was never like the very first
Kids,
proto idea.
kids stay in school. don't do what we did.
don't do this. This is not your backup. But that was the thing. It was never supposed to be broadcast the way that it ended up being. It just that came into being at the perfect time in 2006, and it was like, oh well, this is a thing, and oh my gosh, how many people just downloaded the last one? You know, and we just every week watched the numbers go up and up and up, and it was like there are people listening to us. This is crazy. We should probably be careful about what we say.
Yeah, it's not going to look good on a job interview one day. God,
I do think we started to reel it in after that point.
Yeah, we
It
were.
was
Not,
What I loved about I'd gone through and listened to some of the early
I mean,
episodes.
this is pre-social media. I mean, there was Facebook.
There was Facebook, but it was very early. It was Facebook started in 2003. We're only 3 years into.
It was still a .edu thing.
Yeah,
When we started this, you could not have an account if you were not some kind of academic oriented.
what I love about some of these early episodes, if anybody listening would care to go scroll it took a while to scroll all the way down and find the
200,
first few episodes. I listened to the first episode and I was like surprised that it's very short. It's like 30 minutes long. Podcasts now typically are way longer than that, especially.
But at the time, we were like, "Oh my god, we just went 30 minutes," and now, like whoever's doing it with me, I'm like, "Oh god, we just went 2 hours."
But also, like some of the later episodes, especially after the first, like there was a lot of thought and care put into like the theatrics of it. Like there were sketches.
That's kind of the ESPN. Those
and so it was all kind of like it wasn't always a talk show time.
No, we were trying to.
The format.
And I hate to use this term because I hate it so much now, but when you think of what people infer when they say it originally, we were looking for content. I mean, we were having fun with it, and the numbers were just going up, and we were like, okay, well, we're just going to... I mean, we did some dumb things that should never see the light of day. Go ahead, Houston.
Yeah, no, I remember like, like, you think this will be a funny bit to do this week?
I remember the conversations we had about the end of season 5 when me and Houston quit at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Walked off the show.
Got into a fight with each other and walked off the show.
And then that was the whole cliffhanger for the summer.
That was the bit for the summer is trying to audition new people. We nearly got sued by the band Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
I remember
Christmas Day getting a cease and desist from the band Chicago because we used...
Everybody needs a little time.
Yeah. And we got a cease and desist on Christmas Day. Graham forwarded me an email on Christmas Day like, hey, I'm going to take the video down now. Because we just got an email from the band Chicago.
That was early YouTube. Too.
Early YouTube. I saw a thing this week that was like, here was the first YouTube app icon on a phone.
Mm-hmm.
It was like
an actual television
TV, like an old timey television set. And not a week or so earlier, around the time Tucker and I had recorded Insurgents, I had found a iPhone 3G or 3GS screenshot with something shoe on it that I had screenshotted. Obviously, on that phone when I was using it, and it had the original YouTube. app.
Yeah, and you're
That's
like,
how long
what
we've been doing this, folks.
But yeah, when we came back for that season premiere, and it was actually, I think, was it the first time Shu was running concurrent with the show?
By that point, because everything we had done prior was either episodes we liked and wanted to talk about, but then getting into
So now it's like, okay, new episodes are airing, and we're talking about those. And I just remember that we used that premiere as sort of like we did that skit at the beginning where Derek calls you, Tucker, to get you to come back, and calls you, Houston, to get you to come back, but tells you that
I parent trap it.
I listened to that in the airport a couple of days ago, and literally just remembering that feud. Derek calls Houston after he calls you, and is like, Houston, it's Houston, and then you immediately just knowing the sound of his voice, Houston, you're like, oh God, no, and he goes, Houston, it's Derek, and he goes, I know who it is. I was dying, and I was in the Houston airport, dying at this. Who? No. But like sketches like that, I remember we put a lot of thought and care into trying to entertain, and then it, we sort of built that audience early.
I mean, I can remember Tucker and I sitting in front of Final Draft and writing cold opens for the show. There's one, and I have the script for it. I found it the other day on a hard drive. There was one you wrote entirely in Spanish, and it was like we had a button on the mixer that was like Espanol.
And it's the SAP. Yeah.
Exactly.
SAP button.
And we were like, like we couldn't get it turned off. And we were like, I don't know how to speak Spanish.
Yes, esto.
I'll send it to you. I got it saved. But then that leads in doing commercials like the one where we were auditioning. I remember you were one of the ones we auditioned, and your bet was you couldn't
my
talk.
voice wasn't loud enough
You
to
were
be
just
picked up by
barely
a
whispering,
microphone.
and I was like, don't call us, we'll call you.
Well, the greatest part of that video, or that whole shoot, was never recorded. When Carrie was sitting on the couch and his phone went off, that text message thing, and it was that little sound effect from the song that him and his wife and James did. I don't want to say the name of the song.
I mean,
but it's on the Good Commitment YouTube. But
Houston remembers.
It was just really quiet, and then all of a sudden, and
I have no memory of that.
Burst into laughter.
And that's not filmed? I guess not.
No,
it's got to be.
No memory of that.
No, we were setting up all the camera. That was the crazy.
I was going to say, because there's an outtake video. You did, in addition to the commercial, Graham would always do an outtake video because
the outtakes are always funny.
We had way too many. Carrie, that's the one where I'm talking to Carrie and like he gets uncomfortably close to my face. Well, uncomfortably, he's like pushing up against my face, and so I want to say Ben White.
Ben is in it.
Ben's in it, and is somebody else in it? I feel like there were 4. And the Caddyshack gopher. I realize now, if you're listening to this in 2024 and you never have seen any of this, it's ridiculous. But if you're listening, and we do have new listeners, which is crazy to me. But yeah, picture of Red Tornado here. I might drop.
I was going to say, I don't know why you've watched this far if you didn't.
Please.
Or listen.
Well, it kills me now. There's these Superman, especially on Twitter. I'm sorry, I refuse to call it X. Of these Superman accounts, and these kids are like 22, 23 years old. Yeah, kids. I said it. Approaching 40. And they've got like 22,000 followers, and all they talk about Superman stuff. And
It's
like a
just
lot
the
of
new
them
guard.
just got into Smallville, like recently. Like they weren't. I mean, they were barely alive, if alive, when the show premiered, and this is their first time watching through it. And like it's the quote tweets and likes, I mean, in the hundreds of thousands on these accounts of these people watching it for the first time.
I see all of that stuff as just the logical continuance of what we did.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Like,
kind of what I'm. Yeah, that's kind of the
people
point.
are like, oh, these crazy TikTok kids. They have, they are, like this is a sort of outcropping of what we. I'm not going to be the old person that's like we were there before and did it first,
and we walked uphill to do it.
But it's like now when people are like hating on TikTok kids and stuff like that, I was like, well, that I kind of see myself in those quote unquote influencers.
Yeah.
That's the word that's the dirty
Just
word
say
that's been
children.
added.
Just
but
say
it's
children.
like I see, that label being applied to what they're doing, but also I see a lot of what we were doing in what they're doing. They're discussing one of their favorite topics to an audience, and that's all we were doing.
Yeah. And stuff is just so much easier to get. I mean, like, you can just go get a Ring camera or
The equipment got a lot cheaper.
I mean,
and easier to use.
And I think about the things we did, that box you had for phone calls.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember that thing? What
this was
that
more
thing
in
called?
the tangent days, but it was before we could ever actually interview by phone somebody. We had to buy a special phone. We bought it was a Vonage box.
No, this is before we went Vonage.
Yeah.
This was a little.
I took that from a radio show that we were doing
Yeah.
in Tupelo back in like 2002. I just snaked it because the radio station never asked for it back. We would use it for remotes to dial into the radio station.
Yeah.
And that thing, you just plugged it in like old style phone.
Yeah, it had
and you could have. It was great.
The cable, the phone cable jack, and then it literally you had to put it in between the phone receiver and that box to get so you could hear who you're talking to. But we were able to pipe in people into phone calls like before there was Skype or before Skype was like a reliable thing. And we just used the regular phone lines for a lot of the early interviews of Shu, Tangent, and 10th Wonder.
Yeah.
It was much later when it got like very easy to do remote stuff. So again, it's like I felt like my hobby behind the scenes was how can we like what's the latest and greatest nerdy thing that my college budget could could afford, and we would just go and get it.
I tell you what it was. Ustream. We did live episodes.
We did live
of
episodes
the 10th
on
Wonder.
Ustream. Absolutely. Yeah. After the episode aired, we'd stay up and do.
It was a huge deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about that the other day about the hours we spent, and I found a picture. I think I sent it to you. It had happened several times. One of us would forget to press record.
Oh, the
on
picture.
the stream, to the point that on the camera I had held up a sign that says, "Graham, did you hit record?"
There's a picture from Derek's point of view.
iPhone 3GS.
Did you hit record? So that like the entire time you're staring at the camera, you're thinking, "Did we hit record?"
Yeah. I realize this is real inside baseball stuff, but it's fun.
No, but I'm going to bring up one more piece. Because,
Okay, go.
This was something.
You can vamp till Houston gets back because he disappeared, and my next question was for him.
Where did Houston go?
Who?
There was something, probably I would say one of the more groundbreaking things in my personal experience was it could have been maybe the second or third episode. I don't think it was of House of L. I think it was of the 10th Wonder. Graham said to me, "If you don't stop saying I'm going to kill you." No idea how many of these I've had to mute out. Like so now I am very conscious of doing that, and it has made me pause rather than say or just think of my words a little bit better. But that was he just said, "I'm going to kill you if you don't stop doing that."
I can put myself back into my frame of mind from back in those days and how much time we would spend cleaning up the audio. And I was also pretty bad at it. And at the time, I think the longer we did podcasting, the better I got at not having filler words and stuff like that. But I would painstakingly edit them out because I knew that if we had too many of them, people would tune out.
And I mean, to your credit, I mean, the numbers showed it. We were the number one Hero show. We were the number one Smallville show. For a while, we were the only Smallville show. But I remember when Hero shows started cropping up. I'm not saying this to be rude if anybody was one of those Hero shows at the time. But the reviews would be like 2 stars. Would be like, I'd rather be listening to 10th Wonder. Or, something like that. It was like a bumper
And I feel
sticker.
bad about putting up those reviews.
Let me just say.
We had them all on the inside.
Let me just say 15 years later, I'm feeling pretty guilty about it.
I think, do you guys remember, like, was there a moment where we kind of knew people were, it felt like a slow burn, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. Like, it was like slowly, and then all of a sudden we were getting emails.
Yeah.
And
It was
voicemails.
when there were 2 shows.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, I think that the Smallville show was going for a while. Then we did 10th Wonder, and because I don't know, it maybe have been because Heroes was a network show. Like it managed to like jump off the starting line more than Shu did. But then at the end of the day, because the 2 podcasts were kind of linked, it ended up helping both shows.
Yeah, and when we had several shows going at the same time, and it kind of like I know for me, it got to be a whole lot because I think each of us was kind of taking the technical angle of one show in particular.
Yeah.
Whoever was on, whatever was doing, whatever we were arranging, everybody had kind of one that they were the technical person on. But when we had so much going on, that's when sort of the tide of all started rising up.
Right, and we got very busy.
Yeah. We had a network and we didn't know it.
Yeah, at the time. 3 shows, and I mean, eventually it was up to 4 or 5. There was never more than 4 at the same time.
Yeah, that sounds right. I'm trying to remember.
You had one for Terminator.
Terminator, yeah, Skynex, that's true. That was
Skynex,
Steve,
Tangent,
so-
10th Wonder, Shoe, and I feel like there was one more that was probably short-lived.
There were a few that were short-lived. There were a few like, oh, we'll do this again because we did so well, and then we get into it, and we're like, we don't like this, doing this, we're in something else. Houston said he'd be right back, so I'm going to hold my question for him. That being said,
I'm here.
oh, hey, Houston, sorry.
Yeah.
I hear
I didn't want to
everything
get too far removed. We talked about when you came in. Do you remember like being asked? Like, do you remember when you were brought into the fold a little bit? Because I remember you were in a couple of the later discussions before we got started. But like you left for the summer or something. You were like, I want to do it, but I'm not going to be there for a while, so I'd be coming in late.
Yeah, I think like maybe, I don't remember if it was like, I was just going home for a summer or something like that, but I remember like I already watched the show, and then...
Because you were coming over to the house to watch it with us.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much where that came up, as I was already coming to hang out to watch them anyway.
I mean, you have to understand, we had, in our little 2-bedroom apartment, Tucker and I, we had 16, 17 people crammed in a living room watching the show on any given
It was an
Tuesday,
event.
Wednesday, Thursday night.
I planned my week
wild.
around that day.
Yeah.
Just because of how fun that was.
Like, I can remember I had bought a DVD recorder because I was recording them all on VHS, and I remember thinking, this will be cool because they're digital, analog, and we could somehow utilize these on the show. And I still have all my season 5 all the way through the night of recording with like original commercials and bumpers and that kind of stuff. I don't know if you guys remember, it's been a long running joke on Shoe between Steve and I, but especially during season 5, they would, when they came back between Act 2 and Act 3, they would have a bumper for "If you're just joining us." Something just happened. Okay, so I have
mid-episode. Yeah.
I feel like I'm probably the only person in existence that has these because they're not sitting in somewhere in Warner Brothers anymore, I would imagine. So I've got a bunch of these, and they didn't do them through it. They kind of dropped off. The best one is hidden. Tucker, the missile episode.
Yes.
The jump episode. That one, and it's the WB announcer because we're still WB at this point. That's another thing. Launching with season 6 that summer, we started with, we'd lost the WB.
Was that the switch?
That was the switch to the CW, so we had that going on too. But so anyway, in this new season, no, this is 5. This is 5 from this episode. But anyway, that with launching the show back, we were going into a new network. But this is 503. This is hidden. It's "If you're just joining us, Clark Kent has been shot, and now Small." It's just been this
Back to Smallville.
So there's that one, and then there's some.
You gotta pull these out of the archive.
I can play it right now and let you hear it.
I'd be interested to know, going back and watching some of those old recordings, what advertising was being sold against Smallville at the time.
And the Nissan. I mean, it was as bad as Heroes. We had the Nissan tie-ins and the Ford Fusion and the soundtracks, the Talon mix and that kind of stuff. I mean,
it was always the car.
Product placement.
And the car was
different
everybody
car.
drove the same car.
So yeah, I mean, it's just that kind of stuff that I look back and I'm like, I'm glad I had that. But at the same time, I always I wish we had recorded. Like, I wish we had recorded us watching Reckoning or something. I remember Reckoning because we were like, it was cold. I feel like there was like ice on the ground, and we were just like all like crammed in the apartment. Like
around that big TV you had.
That big TV, and I think maybe we had cooked breakfast or something for everybody that night. I don't know.
Either that or
weird memories.
It's either Crystal, breakfast, or
yeah.
There are only a few options it could be.
These were the options. I'm sending this to myself so I can play it through the computer because I had it on my phone. But do you remember kind of that bringing in Houston at all?
I remember.
Either one of you.
Sorry, Houston. I just remember that Derek saying that Houston was going to be on the show, and him just saying he knows a lot about Superman. I said, well, then great.
Yeah. We got him. It was a good get. That's going to take a minute. Whereas Will, not so much. I do not remember the genesis of the recording day commercial. Does anybody remember what that was born out of?
That was, if I recall, the very first video we shot, and it was. I don't know if it.
I think it was the first like commercial or something.
We did it as just a goof, but it was to ostensibly advertise the show.
Yeah, it's just
as
a commercial,
as a goof, but also to kind of set the tone of how goofy we were. For the listeners who may not have seen this, because I don't know if it's even still on the internet, it started with Derek waking up Tucker, who was incapacitated on the bed, surrounded by empty bottles of alcohol.
I believe there's outtakes for this one too, because I could. Here's what you have to know about Tucker.
Stop laughing.
Here's what you
the outtakes of you laughing are by far the funniest.
Here's what you have to know about Tucker and Graham.
Your eyes are open.
Yeah, if you don't know this already, Tucker and Graham and I have all three known each other basically our entire lives. We grew up, and being born within about a year of each other, and our moms were all friends, and parents were all friends. So we've
known each other forever.
Yeah, so you've got nearly 40 years of friendship here, and nobody on earth makes us laugh, I think, as hard
as we make each other laugh.
We make each other laugh. Tucker can do nothing and make me laugh. I mean, literally, he's doing nothing. He's laying on the bed.
Right now.
He's doing it right now. He's laying on the bed, and his eyes are just like open but blank. And I can't.
Staring ahead.
I think it literally we had to.
I had trouble pointing the camera at you because I was laughing so much.
It's like jostling. It's like you're jostling it.
Yeah.
And I fully remember, like, Graham was getting it's like take 9, and Graham's like, you're just gonna have to turn around.
Yeah,
like,
you're gonna have to just
either
open the
we're
door.
gonna AD this later, or you're just gonna have to turn around and do this because we can't keep on because
you remember
I could not.
We tried to get
face.
that whole thing done in a one shot, but we did not have any lighting, and until you know what natural light looks like on film, then you'll realize why movies have to be lit. Because from Derek's computer desk around through that little atrium was entirely black, and then going through the living room was entirely black. But we ended up cutting it in such a way that it looked like a one shot as he went in.
Yeah, because it got dark enough.
Yeah. And the funniest thing to me is the part of the outtake where it's just a wide shot of Houston laying down on the ground, and it puts up the temperature. It says 107, then it goes up to 108.
It's Tucker's passed out. I'm talking to you.
On the lawn.
Like Houston's coked out on the lawn, and I basically take the microphone and do everybody's voice.
Yeah, we reveal that Derek can mimic all three
Tucker,
voices,
and then
so
Tucker and Houston actually dubbed in their voices, and so it's
and
them.
The look on your face, the kind of the consigned to not again look of, well, I guess I'll just go ahead and do this without saying it.
Again.
It's just all in your eyes.
It's just happened before.
What we're doing.
But I
Can
remember.
I want to ask, because I don't exactly remember, was any of that born out of like some criticism that we received or anything like that early on?
I don't remember.
Or was it all pretty positive?
Everyone loved us.
Yeah, I mean,
That's all I remember.
we occasionally had that. This is dumb, but like the good far outweighed the bad. I don't want to break my arm patting ourselves on the back, but it was rare. Like it was kind of, we got to a point where we were favored. I don't want to sound ugly.
Most favored amongst
Most favored,
Yes.
but it was like when we would get something negative, we were like, "What is this jack?"
They just-
most people would just.
We would get the
Water
occasional,
off the
like,
back.
I can't listen to this show, the guys are all over the place. We would get the occasional thing like that. And we would take to heart, like, okay, maybe we should be more on point about, like, the topics that we're on. But it was always, like, the negative feedback was like, oh, they just don't understand the what we're doing.
vibe.
We're just not taking ourselves seriously.
As
and
the kids would say, the
and
vibe.
We're gaining an audience of folks that are kind
doesn't have a
of
lot of cocaine. They just
But like we wanted the audience to be in on the bit, basically, of like we're able to talk about this. We're going to have fun and not stress too much about being serious all the time.
The point Tucker makes about that temperature change, that was not something that if this was scripted, that wasn't in the script. I remember that was a Graham edit, and we died. But the fact is, it was 107 degrees outside, and Houston was literally, for whatever reason, half of Houston was on the sidewalk, I think, and half was on the grass.
We were half on sun-baked concrete.
He was cooking. And we were like, he was like, "Can I move?" And I was like, "No, we've already done half the shot with you. Well, we can't. We got to have continuity. Houston, stay right. It's so important to have continuity."
That outtake is an outtake because we call action, and I don't know why we thought audio was important for this shot, but like a car is driving by behind the camera,
and you get so
and I'm
mad
like,
at me. You're like, "Derek,
we can't
shut
stop
up."
rolling. The car needs to get far enough away so we can get a clean
laughing.
shot.
This car.
This car drives by.
I'm looking right at this guy driving, and he goes.
Because there's a body on the ground.
There's a dead body on the ground.
There's a camera filming it.
You know,
I did that
don't get
because
involved.
So Graham was filming. I know I was there. I know I was outside, but I want to say Joseph was actually with us, and he was doing something while Graham was bent over the camera. He was doing something behind him.
Oh yeah, Joe.
Oh, that may be true.
Joe was behind me making gestures, and I think that's.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine.
I can't imagine he would do that.
Here is a bumper from Smallville season 5, episode 3.
If you're just joining us, Clark Kent has been shot. And now, back to
It's so dramatic. There's another one.
You totally don't need to watch the whole beginning of the episode. Just pick up right there.
There's another one.
The Kryptonite bullet man?
Do what?
That was season. No, it's when he was mortal for.
Yeah, that's when
episodes,
Jor-El took
or
his
episode
powers
and a half.
away. And then he jumps on the giant missile and comes back all tattered, and they're like, "What happened?"
Flies
Yeah.
onto the missile.
There's another one later in the season. I think it's Solitude, which is the episode where Brainiac infects Martha with a disease in order to trick Clark into taking her to the fortress to release Zod. Wow, pulled that out of my hat. And that one is literally Martha on the couch having a seizure. If you're just joining this, something is killing Clark's mother.
Good Lord.
And now, a fresh new Smallville.
It's like they had him watch the whole episode with the sound off.
Summarize.
And he didn't really know what was going on. It's just like the last 2 minutes.
I just saw the last scene at the act break. What happened? It's like he came in late every day.
And then the red light recording light.
I got to do it now. Show me the last.
Get all these.
Show me the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, I got it. Here we go.
What other videos did we do? There was the Phantom Zone, which
Gosh, that one.
It sounded great. It sounded great when we were planning.
On paper, sounded fantastic. That was a bad one.
That was a really early, like, trying to film an actual short film sketch.
Yeah.
With nowhere near the equipment and help you need to have to make such a thing.
Yeah.
And so
we put so much on Graham that was not fair to him at all, because it was like, we don't know how to do this stuff.
None of us knew how to do it.
I was winging it too. To be honest, the only thing that made me qualified to be out there was I was the one that had the camera. So
we were trying to make a Hard Day's Night.
We were trying to make a Hard Day's Night. That is, you are 1,000% correct. That's exactly what we were trying to do, and it did not go well at all. There's so many silly things on that. All right, I'm going to ask you this while you're sitting here. So there's a scene. I'm looking at you here, sir. There's a scene that Steve likes to make fun of from that, because that's about the time I think Steve started listening. Steve was a huge fan, and that's how he kind of came into the fold.
We shot some videos with Steve, too.
Yeah, we
Dragon
did.
Con?
Yeah, and just looking around,
that
walking down the street.
Great video.
There's a clip in oh God, what was it called? Banished. That was it.
We called it Banished.
We called it Banished. Yeah, that was the joke. We got sent to the Phantom Zone for the summer.
There was always a summer arc that if we were just a podcast, we were writing it like it was a show.
You have to explain why the podcast stopped.
Yeah.
It can't just be because the show's not on.
Yeah, we had to have our own cliffhanger. So let's make a 30-minute movie of what we did. There's a scene where I'm talking to Clark, and it's the Thanksgiving scene from Rage.
I remember this.
Rage, I think it's the episode, season 6. And I'm talking to Clark, Martha, Lois, Oliver, Lionel, and Chloe.
They're all at the table.
And they're all at the table at Thanksgiving together. And our joke on the show was, why are Lionel and Chloe sitting next to you? Like, he just tried to murder you not too long ago. Why are you having Thanksgiving together? But Steve has given me such grief for this over the years, because you cut me into the episode, and I'm wearing a shirt that he says is the most wrinkled shirt anybody has ever worn.
Guys, we were in college. We didn't have irons.
To this day, I think it's the lighting.
It's probably the lighting. We didn't use lights.
It's the lighting, Steve. Graham made it official. I didn't pay him off at all to say that.
But it's also like the world's smallest non-HD.
No, we were in your kitchen. I remember exactly.
I remember because we were trying to match because we weren't like colorists.
No.
we were trying to match the background to something that would be in the Kent house.
Yeah.
And I had like this awful green wallpaper in my college apartment.
Terrible.
And so we moved the table.
1992 wallpaper.
We placed you in a spot where we could shoot you from the angle where you can make eye lines with everyone else in the...
Like I'm standing at the head of the table.
that we cut to.
Yeah.
Because there was like, you would say something and you would look, and then we would cut to a shot of them like looking up into your eye line. So like we were trying to be clever about it. So not a lot of thought was put into the lighting or what you were wearing.
Yeah,
we were kind of overproduced that one.
And then that's another thing. We were always like the continuity. Like I made fun of that with Houston a minute ago. He was already laying like half in the grass, half on the sidewalk. We would be like the continuity. We're like, who the
we're talking like we knew what we were doing. Yeah.
Like why are we spending hours on this?
That's so many AD brains at once.
Yes.
Yeah, too many ADD brains.
So I remember we filmed a few things in Starkville like that. We went to Tupelo for an entire day.
So that rock
For the Phantom.
We went to like a
quarry.
sand pit.
Yeah, to a sand pit.
Yeah.
That I had scouted.
That my family owned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad we weren't.
Yeah, no, we were not trespassing.
Glad we weren't trespassing.
But it was the four of us, Will, James, and Carrie, because we did a good commitment crossover.
Yeah.
With them, and
they were in the Phantom Zone.
There was no explanation for that.
Was Joe Johnson with us? Was Joe and TJ with us? I'm just trying.
I don't think they were at the pit.
There were more.
No.
That is the one where we killed off Will. He fell down a mountain and died. We didn't bring him back with us from the zone.
I remember that, yeah.
He may still be there.
He's still there.
For all we know. No, I've seen him on TBS.
Yeah, I've seen him on TV.
Yeah, he got out.
I want to throw in, I think I texted you like maybe last week, Derek. It still pops in my head like anytime I'm exasperated about anything in my life. I just have this memory of Graham showing us clips of the stuff we shot with John Schneider. And then just John being like, and now here's 5 minutes of John not cooperating.
That I feel like that was our big, we've arrived. Schneider,
that was a huge deal.
Yeah, it was a huge deal.
Schneider
came to town with his movie that ended up
He was off the
changing
show at that point?
Yeah, he had already been killed off. Yeah. This was November of 06, I want to say.
Yeah, he signed my DVD set.
Yeah.
But had that episode on it, so definitely had.
So we found out he was coming. He was touring with this film he had made that ended up changing a large trajectory of Graham and mine's life.
Oddly enough,
that movie.
Yeah,
went on to work for the man in some capacity or another for years, which is just wild.
My summer project was like traveling with John for 2 months.
Yeah.
While he toured that movie and filming the whole thing for his like DVD extras, which was like unbelievable of him to ask me to do that.
Yeah, it was so cool, and we ended up making a production company, and Breet and I working for him. It was crazy times, but he was coming to town with this film, and I just reached out I found out who the PR for the film was, and reached out to, and it's somebody who's now a lifelong buddy of
this Breet?
Of Breet, yeah. And I was like, could we have John for like an hour? Like, we'll buy him lunch, that kind of thing. And they were like, sure. Like, there was no
pushback.
What's a podcast? There was nothing like
I know.
that.
I think they thought so we did take advantage of the fact that no one knew what a podcast was a lot when we were at the time, at least, when we were trying to punch above our weight to get guests on our shows. It was basically like, oh yeah, podcast, we have this many listeners, and it would be an easy way to get folks. But I think when John was going to be on the show, he never once asked like, how many listeners do you have, or what is this? He was like, game.
No, because when
we set it up like a junket.
Yeah, we set it up. We set it up with video. We filmed it.
It was a big deal.
We got a room in a hotel.
Yeah,
and I mean, we did it like a press junket. Sorry, I cut you off, Tucker.
No, I remember that day there being a level of professional among all of us.
I wore a polo
shirt. Not in existence.
Graham wore pants.
I went out, in something other than a t-shirt.
And not cargo pants. Pants.
Yeah, man, I remember lights and microphones.
Oh yeah, I had borrowed lights from because I was in the broadcasting school at that point, and I borrowed their equipment, and we shot it like it was basically, he was at one end of the table, the three of you were on a panel. We had 3 mics set up.
And what's so sad is you went to all this trouble. We never released it for some reason.
We edited it.
It was edited. It never got released, and now we have no clue where it is.
It's on a tape or hard drive somewhere. The audio is out there.
The audio's out there, and there's some video footage in like a trailer form, but we never actually got to release the episode. But that's really where I felt like we were. It wasn't too long after that we got contacted by Warner Brothers to be on the DVD.
Yes. I remember that shoot, too. We did that in the library.
Season 6 volume.
Oh, man. I still have a little bit of PTSD about how much makeup we have.
Yeah, we got a little too makeup off.
And so I would urge anyone listening never to open the Season 6 DVD. What was it, Season 6 DVD?
Season 6.
And find that video.
We weren't mimes.
My kids at school ask me, because here's the thing. If you guys, because, as soon as you get a new group of kids, the first thing they do is they Google their teachers.
Yeah.
And they see
that
IMDb for me. And they say, you were in Smallville? I said, no, I was not in Smallville. I'm on a DVD for like maybe 15 seconds. And they'll go and they'll find it and watch it, and they'll see all these kind of things. And it's really weird how that keeps alive when there's no reason for it to.
No.
That stuff's permanent. It's on shelves right now. That video, which I thought was really well done. It was them trying to figure out what we were and what. I mean, it was a general piece about fans, but we had this like 40, 50 second.
There was like
chunk of that
There was
video.
like 3 fans they covered. They had a contest or something, and then they kind of went into this whole Krypton site with Craig because they had interviewed. He's a talking head throughout the featurette, but kind of this surrogate publicist thing that Susan Kessler, who was over PR for the show at the same time, because she had reached out because we were very friendly with her at that point. She's amazing. In listening to Talkville, I hear often Tom and Michael salute so many unsung heroes from the show, or talk about people who are backstage and made things work, and I never hear them talk about Susan, and that's a shame because she was as integral to that show as anybody was.
And like knowing ahead of time, this group of fans, like these are the people you need to be,
and like set us up with them, and
thinking
everything,
about,
because and so we've got like a minute package or something on there.
I remember when that email came through, and they're like, and you told me they want some footage of us for the DVD, and I remember thinking, what have we done?
Right, because
this is crazy.
They wouldn't. They had gone to film the 3 individuals, whoever won the contest, and they were like, we don't have whoever was over. It wasn't Warner Brothers, obviously, making the featurette. They had outsourced it to a third-party production company. But they were like, we don't have the budget to go to another place. Can you? Here's what we need. And I was like, okay, Graham.
But I remember it being like, we're going to be on the Smallville DVD. They're going to come and film it, right? No. It's like, no, we're going to film it and send it to them. And I'm like, there's no possible way I have the technical expertise or the equipment to film us talking on camera, send it to Warner Brothers, and have them like just cut our stuff in with their stuff. I was so like nervous about that, but we did it. We shot it, and like I did what we could with the equipment we had, and now I watch it and I'm like, it makes but for the makeup that we have too much on. But I think that was the one misstep. I think it all like cut together really well, and it's something that I'm like still kind of shocked even happened.
That's crazy. It was Will was with us. It was the 5 of us on there, and that
I wouldn't wear a turtleneck had I to do it again.
Oh, you are wearing a turtleneck, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh my God. It's
you artist.
I can't stand it.
You look like a beatnik. They just cut to you, and you had like a sailor's hat and a pipe.
But I have won bets with people, like when I visit for like new acquaintances or friends or whatever, and they've got Smallville on their shelf. I'm like,
I'm on that.
You got a DVD?
Hey.
You got a DVD of me?
Hey,
and they're like, what? Hop in special features there. You don't have to do it right now.
Just do it sometime. Just
when
after
I'm gone.
After I'm gone. But send me a picture. I want to know that you saw it. We grew up in somewhat, the 3 of us at least, not Houston, but we grew up in a small town of the kind of place where if you were ever in the newspaper for something in school or something, everybody would cut it out and give you a copy of it.
Thank you.
Then it's like, thank you. What am I supposed to do with 14 of these? And I mean, because in a town of 40,000 people, at
the time,
it happened a lot. We did theater, we did a bunch of different things, so they got covered. That summer, that season 6 DVD came out, and people went and bought it, and then like they were done with it. Just like a newspaper, they were like, okay, I read it, and then they would give it to me. I had like 19 copies of season 6.
I thought you might want this.
I was like, I don't need any more. It's like my least favorite season too. Just take it. Just take it to a pawn shop or take it to a thrift store or something. I don't need that. That's a good memory. Are there other commercials I'm forgetting? The Schneider stuff. We did a commercial with him where he was like our bartender.
Yeah, because where we shot that interview,
there was a bar.
It was basically the hotel bar, but you were shooting away from it, and so I think on the fly came up with some funny promo with the 3 of you at the hotel bar, and he had his back to you cleaning glasses, and then it was sort of like we were like, what should we talk about in this?
He wouldn't do the dialogue. Like
Yeah, that was
we
the not
kept
cooperating
feeding him
part.
lines.
He
and
kept changing it up.
He kept changing it up, trying to be funny, and we just weren't. The improv was. I mean, Houston and I were in improv at the time. Like we was just not driving with him, and that's
We were just like, yeah, no, not like that.
no, don't do that.
Do it this
and he's
way.
like, I'm an actor, you know, and I'm like, you jump some cars.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Now, there's no way he's going to listen to this, is he?
Yeah.
Most.
I've said far worse over the years.
After all of that whole day, like I do recall very vividly having that kind of trouble getting him on board with what we were doing fully. And I think at a certain point we kind of huddled up or were close together and said, I think I know why he's not on the show anymore.
Wow.
I think we figured it out.
Oh, he's not a team player. Okay.
But he came back.
I do say I do remember that is where the law of the seventh generation came from.
Yes.
Remember that, Houston?
Oh, yeah.
Don't do anything that affects. Don't do anything today.
My
that
friends
affects.
still talk about the law of the seventh generation.
Yeah. Any other video? I can't remember.
I can't remember any sketches. We did do a couple of like live after shows, and then we did a couple of like actual videotaped because we were experimenting with putting video on the
Justice.
feed.
We did.
Justice,
Justice. We did
and
like
one other
live
show
that night.
Yeah.
What was another one we did? I can't remember. But yeah, the four of us sitting on the couch.
Yeah,
and
that
Tucker in my apartment
and around the table one time. It was like we tried to do an actual video podcast. This was the time of like early video podcasting, and before it was just called YouTube videos. YouTube was around then, but podcast
You had a 10-minute cap. You couldn't upload videos fast.
That's right.
Like that.
The other thing was you could put videos in an RSS feed just like you could MP3s once the video iPods started rolling out. And so we were like, how fun would it be for our audience to kind of see our faces as we talk? And, we didn't do a ton of editing to those, but we experimented with just the video talk show. And you want to know like what the most popular videos on YouTube right now are? Just videos of podcasts.
Of people watching. And I meant that's where I was going with that earlier. I totally forgot. We were talking about the original, one of the last runs Tucker and I did of watching, I think, Insurgents, and both holding handheld microphones and the video down in the lower third or fourth. That's what's on YouTube now. I mean,
that's all it is.
That's what people are watching. Somebody watching something or somebody playing a video game.
I'm not saying that to take credit for doing it,
not at
but
all.
it's the fact that we were doing it and didn't know that that's something that like 15, 20 years later was going to be
we were like,
the thing.
And we were kind of like, this doesn't work. Like, it seems clunky. And for it to be the norm now.
That's one of probably 5 instances where what we thought of, the technology was not there yet.
Yeah.
Or it was there, but very cumbersome.
Well, I recall very vividly when there were 3 or 4 of us on a show, all of the microphone feeds were coming in stereo, and I would just say, why can't there be some piece of equipment that will split each channel into its own thing? Why won't that? Because, and we would look for them, but they would be, many thousands of dollars,
and still didn't do exactly what we wanted it to
that
do.
was our holy grail, was being able to record each mic to its own track, and that the equipment to do so then was many thousands of dollars, and like
now
special connections and FireWire stuff. And now it's like the cheapest USB mixer for $20 you buy on Amazon will give you an output for each track. It's insane how cheap this stuff has gotten.
But no, I do remember we talked a lot about how could we put this on YouTube, because that's when YouTube was starting to be popular, and we were trying to figure out, well, could we split it up into 10-minute chunks? Would people watch that? And the real question was always, well, who would watch that? I remember at least everybody saying that at least one time.
Yeah.
And well, who would watch this? Who would watch this? And gosh, people watched. Do you know how much Fail Army I've watched?
People will watch. It's borne out to be true. People will watch just about anything. Not that doesn't excuse like just putting bad content out there. Like you don't want to waste people's time, but like I generally do think that if you care about something and you talk about it on video and you upload it to YouTube, somebody out there is going to connect with that.
Well, and I said this to you before, I know, but and not even really podcast related, but I mean, we grew up making dumb videos together. We missed out on the Vine
Constantly.
and TikTok generation.
No, none of that was around.
Completely.
YouTube was around, and we tried a little bit.
And we were just doing that stuff for us. We didn't show it to anybody. I mean, our friend group, but it wasn't like we were on cable access with it or something. I mean, we weren't posting it anywhere. We were just doing it for us.
We were making these videos for the website. Then it's like, oh, well, we can try a few clips on YouTube to see how they do. And it's like, well, that's where we should be posting these from now on because there's clearly more people actually watching the stuff.
You know, it'd be fun to do like a shoe commercial as though we were coming back.
We almost had the opportunity to do that right here.
Yeah.
Tucker, you're not too far away.
Yeah, that could have been done.
Yeah.
But I'll be back.
Yeah.
Are there any other videos I'm forgetting from like our era? Like I feel like I'm forgetting some, but I don't know. There was a lot of little stuff in Banished we did.
Yeah.
That made up the greater whole of us walking around the quarry.
I know we did like a little like send in videos. I want to say maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah, we did for the finale, which the finale is tomorrow. Today,
Please don't say it's been like 10 years.
13 years.
Oh my
13,
gosh.
dude.
Since the finale. I know that because my daughter was born
That's
a
right.
month before,
I remember-
and she just turned 13.
That's 2008? Or not
No.
8, 2013.
2011.
Okay, 2011.
What year is it?
Plus 13 is 2024. Yeah, 13
Yeah,
years
okay.
tomorrow.
I remember the amount of videos that came in because I, just being the shoe behind the scenes person, remember when you were putting this together and you're like, do you want to edit this? And I'm like, I'm in. And I hadn't really worked on shoe in years because I had moved out to San Francisco in 2009. So I was there for 2 years and kind of let you were doing all the technical work on shoe. I think I reprised my role just a little bit to go to Comic-Con one year in 2012 to film with Joe and John Schneider again.
Yeah,
But,
that's right. You're running into Schneider.
That was another, and like we were in the press room, so we interviewed like a bunch of folks. But I remember the sheer volume of videos that came in for that finale. I was like, Derek, I know I said yes to this, but I actually don't have enough time to work on this. I have a real job now. And I remember we brought in our friend Spencer to finish it.
Yeah, Jason did ended up doing a 2-hour movie.
And he crushed it.
Yeah, absolutely crushed it.
And I'm so happy because it was one of the first times where I was like, I had to just step away from a thing I really wanted to do because I just did not have the time. And I remember being like so kind of bummed to hand it off. And then, but I'm so glad I did because Jason crushed
he did a
that
great
video.
job. I think we ended up with like 100 submissions, and he whittled it down to like 40. Like it was going to be another hour-long thing, of people talking about like shoe memories and how they started listening.
Yeah,
we had
it
a
was a
guy
real
in the
moment.
and I just in the recent news made me think about this the other day. A guy in the Israeli army that sent a video submission in from like his air base.
I vaguely remember
like
that.
He
yeah.
and his crew would get together and listen. Like it's just crazy.
We were teaching him English.
I mean, the avenues that we've gone through, and I mean that it's led to other weird stuff, and it's just, I mean, it all because we were bored in an apartment when we should have been going to class instead, and we're like, let's talk about this TV show.
But it's wild.
Priorities.
Yeah, it's just wild that it was a timing thing for the most part.
Yeah.
But it's just wild that the timing lined up in the way that it did, that we were able to do it. And like the timing, if it was even slightly off, we wouldn't have had the skills or experience. We wouldn't have the equipment to do it. We wouldn't have had the knowledge of doing it. Like everything had to happen when it did. Otherwise, we'd either be getting into the game too late when there's already like a bunch of
true.
Smallville podcasts.
It's true. The market's getting saturated.
Yeah.
Is the Anchorman 2 gift that Tim sends me? What?
But I wouldn't. But it's like now and I think some of us have experienced this. To launch a podcast in 2024 is not as easy. It is as easy to do technically, not as easy to gain an audience. There's too many
You're
podcasts.
throwing a rock into a very large pond.
It's like I wonder, if we were to do this all over again starting today, would we have been able to make 200 episodes?
No.
It just doesn't feel like it would have stuck.
No.
Like it did when it did.
And obviously we do not have the listener base that we had in, say, a season 8 when we were just like, the server crashed again, or, whatever would happen. We can't host that episode anymore because too many people downloaded it. Yeah, not near that anymore, obviously. But the one, obviously we still have a very large, devoted listenership, friends of the show that tune in every time we do it, whether we're doing 3 episodes in a row to get to 200 or if we haven't done an episode in 6 months, which more or less is usually what ends up happening because of life. But as I realized we were approaching the 19th year, I was like, probably should round out 200 at this point. So
this is the last episode. Bye, everybody.
This is it.
We're done.
I just wanted to end it here. I couldn't end it at 195. That's not an
Thanks,
ending.
everyone.
We need a nice round number.
I'm dying tonight. No.
I'm going to go.
This is,
I'm dying, Temecula.
Tim sent me a I can't remember if it was Twitter or Reddit. I don't remember, or TikTok comment earlier that somebody was like, "Hey, I started watching Smallville and I'm listening with you guys in season 10." Like he's going back and listening to the show, the old show, with the most dated references ever. Steve and I were recording the night Osama bin Laden was killed. Like I remember us recording.
Is that in the show?
I remember us recording and it breaking in on CNN.
Breaking news.
It was like,
Hold on, Obama's
Steve?
going to call.
They got bin Laden.
We're now a breaking news podcast.
Like the history that has transpired while watching things is very funny to me while recording things.
When Krusty is talking about the invasion of the Falklands.
Exactly.
That's exactly what's going on.
That's exactly what it's like. But we still have just this amazing, listeners, people that are, parents now that were like our age and in their 40s that listen. But anyway, he said he was listening back with season 10 and he jumped ahead. He wanted to hear one of the new episodes. So he jumped from like 170, 60 or 70 something forward to one from a couple weeks ago and was like,
There's a lot of us
you guys still got
back
it.
aches and
He was like, we hope you keep going through season 10 again. I was like, I will be 74 years old if I go all the way through this show again.
Your kids will continue the legacy.
Yes, Lex is screwed.
Let's finish the journey.
That when Steve and I talked about doing it, we were, bringing it back originally, and then Robin and Frank have kind of come into the fold too. It was like, do we go all the way through again? And I was always like, no, we catch up to where we started, and we've closed the loop.
Yeah.
We don't have to go. We already did the back 5. We just need to do the front 5. And but the more I do it and haven't revisited some, especially a lot of those later episodes, because I don't think I've really gone back and watched season 10 since it aired, outside of maybe one or the finale once or twice or something here or there. I haven't gone back and watched any of that, so it would be as new to me as these. These have been.
See what Tess gets up to.
Yeah, remember those storylines that would be hard to pull from. Tucker, we talked about this when we were recording the other night. I want to try the episode titles. And Graham's here to keep me honest.
You want to try to guess?
I want to try to see if I can still do them in order. I can't do season 1 and 2. Don't ask me. Just start with
of Smallville or Shoe?
Smallville.
Oh, okay.
I used to be able to to do them all. Like, I had them all memorized,
Okay.
but my mind has gone blank. But you can confirm that there's nothing.
There's nothing. I'm confirming now.
All there
he
is.
does not have
Nothing up to
anything.
sleep.
I have nothing but to keep me honest.
I don't have anything to
There's
check you
nothing-
against,
this
though.
Wait, I shouldn't.
Should I be? Should I be checking you?
Or somebody
Okay.
can check me. Start me in season 3, maybe. I think I can do that.
I bet I can name most of the 1 and 2s, maybe not in the order in which they
Yeah,
were
I
done.
could do that, just not in the order. Quickly,
All right,
before we wrap up,
which-
I just want
which
to see
season again?
Start me with 3.
Okay.
Let's see how far I can get, and if this goes nowhere, we'll stop it. I just want to see if I can do it. Oh, that's
One
nice.
second, more episodes.
There,
What is
block.
the
There's so
blind-
many
what is
Smallville
this-
episodes.
I'm
What is
good.
this blindfold doing, Derek?
This is keeping me from, in case
Somehow
anybody-
seeing words that are not here.
in case anybody doesn't believe that it's not in front of me. So,
All right, season 3,
go.
episode 1.
Exile, Phoenix, Extinction. Did I say that? Mm-hmm. Slumber.
Extinction.
Graham, you're not helping me.
Tucker, are you looking? Because I'm not able to find some of
Where he
these.
fights a dinosaur.
No.
Yeah,
It's
that's a good
he's right. It's
What are you
Exile.
looking at?
I'm looking at like
Exile.
Wikipedia, but
Season 3 episode titles? Is
Season
Exile
3.
the first one?
yep,
Phoenix.
Phoenix is the second.
Third one's Extinction, right?
Correct.
Fourth one's Slumber.
Correct.
Fifth one is Perry.
Got it.
Sixth one is Relic.
Yep.
Seventh is Magnetic.
Got it.
8 is Shattered.
Got it.
9 is Asylum.
Got it.
10 is Delete. 10 is Whisper. 10
is Whisper.
11 is Delete.
Got it.
12 is... Give me the first letter.
H.
Oh, God. Hereafter.
Got it.
Is that 13 next?
Yep.
Unsafe?
Negative.
God bless America. Or give me the first letter.
V.
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 313?
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. What is it?
Velocity.
Velocity. Pete Drag Racing Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
314 is unsafe?
No.
Okay. This whole thing just fell apart. What's 14?
Obsession.
Still the Alicia
man.
episode. Unsafe is when Alicia comes back.
Next season,
Next
yeah.
season. Okay. I'm not going to count that one. 415 would be... I don't remember. I'm so embarrassed.
What's Easter about?
Huh? Resurrection? Okay,
Yeah.
that's not the China episode then. That's later. Okay, Resurrection was Adam Knight dying. The next one is Crisis.
Got it.
Does that bring me to 17?
Yep.
Is that... No, China's season 4. That's... What am I talking about, Derek? Season 3, 17...
It's a Greg Beeman episode.
That's not helpful. At all. First letter?
Of 17?
Yeah.
You're going to be mad that you don't get this.
Okay.
This is like a tentpole episode.
Oh, Legacy.
Yeah,
Legacy.
got
That's
it.
Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
318 is Truth. 319 is Memoria.
Got it,
320 is...
You're going to hate if you don't get this one, you're going to hate that you didn't get this one.
Oh.
Tucker knows what it is.
What is it? First letter.
Directed by one. I don't want to give it away. It's too easy.
I don't... Give me the first letter. This is 320? This is Talisman. This is
Yep.
Schneider. Damn.
Directed by John Schneider.
321 is the one before the finale.
That it is.
Correct.
322 is Covenant. 321 is Forsaken?
Got it.
Ah!
Both of those two.
401 is Crusade.
Crusade. Yeah.
402 is Gone. 403 is... it's like a bad twitch. Devoted? Or is 404
You're one off.
Devoted?
404 is devoted.
404 is Devoted. 403 is... First letter.
F.
Nope.
Want it?
F.
Yep. Facade.
Facade. Run.
Run is 5.
5.
6 is Spell. No. 8 is Spell. 6 is
You're correct on
8.
8.
I'm about to quit. Can't do it.
This is episode 6 of season 4.
First letter? Did
T.
you say? T. Can I buy a vowel? I don't remember. I'm
Transference.
quitting. Transference.
That was a good one.
Transference number 7. Do you want to guess it, or do you want me to go through them?
Transference is 7.
Transference is 6.
7's Jinx.
Got it.
Jinx.
8 is... I don't remember. Spell? Did I already say that?
8 is spell. You said that already.
9 is bound.
Yep.
10 is... I don't know. I can't do it.
Scare. Halloween episode, probably. No?
Oh, that was the spell.
That was like
episode.
a mid-season. Yeah. Man.
The parking garage.
It gets a whole lot easier come season 5. Once we get into the podcast, it was like, all right, then I would know.
These are all pre-podcast.
This is all pre-shoe. Like,
Houston knows them all. There's the Chinese restaurant.
The little kicks.
Yeah. The little Jerry. Guys, thank you for doing this. This meant the world to me.
Sure.
This has been the best time. Just reminiscing, if nothing else. Houston, tell them where they can find you.
Down
You'll never
south.
find me.
They'll never find me.
Never find me.
Will never find me. Graham's at the 10th Wonder, because apparently we're going to do that.
We're
again.
back.
HeroesPodcast.com.
That's the only thing I'm doing, though.
Tucker and I have teased a comeback of sorts with each other as well, so we'll see where that
We
goes.
tease each other
We do
frequently.
tease each other.
I don't even know about this, so this is news.
Well,
Who could say?
yeah.
You can find us online at smallvillepodcast.com. We are on Twitter at ShoeSmallville.
That's
on
X formerly Twitter.
On Instagram at, you may know it as Myanmar, but it'll always be Burma to me.
Burma to me.
Instagram at Starkville House of L. TikTok at Smallville Podcast. Leave us a rating and review. You can still do that. It's not like a old-fashioned thing. You can still, if it's easier on Spotify, you don't even have to. You don't
have to type anything.
You don't have to type anything. You just click a star, preferably the 5. We'd take that. So that's good. So yeah, we're still here at 219 years later. We're all very old, and
I feel like there's not a lot of podcasts that have been going since 2006 and are still publishing new episodes.
2005.
Yeah.
I mean, since we.
I mean, there are a few. There's a few that I listen to that I still listen to that were from back in that time that are still going, but it's not a lot. Mm-mm. It's a very small club. And if you're out there and you've been listening to us that entire time, that's nuts.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry for all of this. Sorry for what we have unleashed.
You have escalation of commitment at this point. You're like, I've got to see it through to the end. It's like watching Grey's Anatomy. You got to finish it at this point. You're a
podcast completionist.
You've invested 21 seasons. You got to see how it ends. So, back next time with whatever the next 2 episodes are. I have already forgotten something in Precipice. See, I can't do the episode titles anymore, but so close. I'm going to work on it.
Visitor.
Yeah.
Visitor.
Tucker, come back. Visitor and Precipice for the next 2. Anything else? I want to. The floor is open if anybody wants to say anything before we go. I appreciate all of you because I've gotten to do. We've gotten to do a lot of things, and professionally, and it has opened avenues for me. And have, I mean, had we not sat around and goofed off, I wouldn't have a lot of things I'm thankful for. But I'm thankful for all 3 of you.
Well, with the summer coming up, I don't know what Houston's schedule is like, but we got to figure out a way to do something live and in person, even if it's like a halfway kind of thing.
That would be fun.
We really should. This is like super fun and really brought back some memories. And I'm a more mature person than I was.
I like
when we recorded this podcast.
I like that Houston and I are wearing glasses and have beards now to show that time has passed.
The beard here is new too, from those days.
All right. Well, thank you all so much, guys, and those of you listening. We will see you guys next time.